Hello everybody, welcome back. I have an announcement to make today. It's not one that I like to make, but I have sold out of another holding in my portfolio. This has been a reoccurring theme on the channel for the last year or two as I have been consolidating my positions into the stocks and businesses that I am most confident in. And today, the stock that is on the chopping block is actually a really good business, and it's Abbvie. Abbvie is a company that has really solid growth over the last 5 years and has had a crazy return, not including the dividends, of 155%. Abbvie is also one of the larger positions in the portfolio too, with a market value of about 5% of the portfolio, or $1,300. So today, I'm going to be explaining why I sold out of Abbvie, what I put the money into, and being fully transparent with you guys, something that a lot of finance channels can't do for some reason. I wonder why. But with all that out of the way, let's get on to the video.
Hello, I like money.
Alright, so I'm going to start this video off by sharing why I bought Abbvie in the first place, what position and what kind of role it had in my portfolio. So to start off, when I first bought Abbvie, I've owned it for about 4 years now. I first bought at around $105 per share. The stock was massively discounted because Humira, their big drug patent, expired in 2023. That was a big part of their earnings and a big part of the free cash flow, and a lot of people were worried about how they would react. People are worried how Abbvie would be as a business without Humira, their core staple of a cash flow machine they had. Big part of my thesis was that they would still be getting revenue from Humira, probably less though because the patent expired, and they'd also have other drugs that they expected to replace that lost revenue they would have from the patent loss. Also, at the time that I bought Abbvie, it was a really attractive value compared to cash flow, so it was definitely a bet that they were going to recover their cash flows without Humira, which happened. I believe that I got the stock pretty underpriced and around $50–$60 undervalued to where it's at now. Also, I would be lying if I didn't say that the dividend yield and dividend growth that they had paid out was not a big part of my thesis. Now, dividends were a huge part of investments that I was making at this time when I bought Abbvie and built up my position. And yes, dividends are great, but when you stop looking at dividends as free money, it's the moment where you really grow as an investor for me personally. Abbvie, though, regardless, is very generous to shareholders in terms of returns. Now, they do dilute shares, but that's mainly to run their business, and it's really not something that I was worried about as an investor, but they had a really nice dividend yield of about 4% when I bought, and they also grew the dividend about 4 to 5% a year. Very generous dividend growth. The stock also had some really nice capital appreciation during the time that I owned it as well, and they were growing their free cash flow at a very aggressive rate. They have a 10-year growth rate on the free cash flow of 13.13% and a 5-year growth rate of 8.5%. I think the thing with Abbvie and other pharma businesses that gives them such a competitive advantage is like the barrier of entry you have. Not everybody can start a pharma company from their basement, unfortunately. Abbvie also has a very strong pipeline of drugs that frankly a lot of people rely on. Now there's so many reasons to own this company, whether it be the good dividend, the growth, etc. But the one thing that really came down for me to sell the stock is circle of competency. Now, this is something I've absolutely trying to develop in my investing as of recently. Now, basically, if you don't understand this circle of competency, is investing in what you understand. If you don't understand the business, you can't explain it to a dummy in 15 seconds or less, you shouldn't be owning the company. And with Abbvie, I would be lying to myself if I said I completely understood the business. Now, as I grow up, I go to college, I don't have as much time as I used to completely research Abbvie, go through the pipeline, and I really do not understand what I'm investing in. And that came down to the big reason that I sold. Yes, it's really nice to look at the free cash flow grow year over year, the dividend grow year over year, but with that said, if you don't know how that is growing and where that's coming from, I feel you are irresponsible as an investor, and I just couldn't in good conscience hold it anymore. So when the company was up about 5% last week in a day, I figured it would be a good time to sell. And Abbvie's been the largest position and largest amount of capital in the portfolio that I have sold out of so far, so it's a bit frustrating and sad to see because the compounding effect really could go into play here. Now, I'm not saying that Abbvie's a bad company at all. I just don't understand it, and I don't have the time to understand it. Now, for full transparency and disclosure, I sold 7.0692 shares of Abbvie at a 37% gain. This came out to roughly $1,300 worth of capital for me to play with. Now, I've not spent a lot of that money yet, as I've been letting it build in capital and waiting for good opportunities, but I could say that I put into Disney, Amazon, which is a new position, and a lot of SHG. Also, something I didn't mention is I still get exposure to Abbvie through SHD. So it's not a total goodbye from Abbvie. Amazon's been down recently, and Abbvie has been up a lot recently. So I think that Amazon is going to have a better total return over the long term than Abbvie, and I figured it would be a good time to buy. I also lost about $40 in dividend income from Abbvie, so it's going to be sad to see my dividend income go down, but I know the quality of my portfolio and the total return over the long term will go up. So I had 37% price appreciation gain on Abbvie and likely a total return of around 50%. I want to thank Abbvie for its service to the portfolio. If you guys appreciate the transparency and me sharing why I sell out of my companies because a lot of finance channels don't or put it behind a paywall, make sure to smash the like button. That's all I ask for. Thank you guys for watching. Smash like and subscribe and do dividend stocks not drugs. Have a good one.